Welcome to the Customer Management IQ video interview series. I'm your host, Corey Bennett, and today we are on site at the 12th Annual Call Center Week in Las Vegas, Nevada. Joining me right now is Josh Neal, the Assistant Manager of Product Marketing at Southwest Airlines. Josh just finished up his presentation, which was titled, How Social Media is Changing the Corporate Portfolio. He joins me right now to talk a bit about that. So let's jump right in and talk a bit about Southwest's social media engagement program, or the Flying Altitude Flight Plan, as it was dubbed in the presentation.
Our overall flight plan in a nutshell is basically all of those folks within Southwest who help us monitor and engage and see what social media is at Southwest Airlines. In a nutshell, it's broken into three main pillars, where it is corporate communications, marketing, and customer relations. Our roles within that to make it successful, and our overall goals within each pillar to make it successful. So it's just how we all engage with one another. That is our flight plan, and kind of where the ownership falls within that.
And when you do have, you use it across several pillars, controlling and having a consistent brand message is very tough. So what are some of the ways that you do control that your brand's message in this emerging media environment?
Sure. Our number one priority is to listen. You open the door, and you have to monitor and listen. Engage when appropriate, respond where appropriate, but most of all, proactively communicate. Secondly, we have built a following of more than 2 million people. So when you have an audience of that caliber, there are power in numbers. So manage that to your benefit, and in a timely fashion.
So you mentioned the 2 million followers. What social media platforms are those primarily?
Primarily Facebook and Twitter.
Great. And so what are some of the specific strategies that Southwest has used for a Facebook or for a Twitter that you guys have seen success with?
Some recent success stories, if you will, would be user-generated content. Our customers love to be engaged with us, love to interact with us. So whether it be Twitter or Facebook, they're all over the contests. So if we request a photo contest, they're all about taking their pictures and tweeting them in or posting them on Facebook. Anything that's user-generated, they love, and we love that they love.
Yeah.
One specific would be the 12 Days of Love. Lots of love going on in Southwest.
That's a buzzword.
And it's a user-generated contest via Twitter that we have seen such success with that it's been anniversaried year after year, and we're now in our third year.
So what is the 12 Days of Love? What go on during those 12 days?
During the 12 days, it's the 12 days leading up to Christmas holiday, if you will.
Okay.
And each day we send out, we tweet a theme and say, send us a picture of your pet and holiday attire. So we get pictures of dogs and cats and snakes and rabbits with hats and vests and all sorts of Christmas gear get up, and we will choose the best one, and you basically get a $1,000 gift card.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we give away $12,000 worth of Southwest gift cards in 12 days.
My birthday's around that time of year. Southwest always sends me a card on my birthday.
Because we always
not social media, but
it works.
Yeah, exactly. And my mom forwards it in the mail to me because she thinks it's funny. Anyway.
Before you move on, though, one additional element I would love to share was a great way to use social media is to tie in potentially a philanthropic touch point, which Southwest, that's at the heart and soul of Southwest, is giving back to the community. And one of the most recent promotions that we ran with Facebook, since we just spoke about Twitter, would be through Facebook Places. So the geotagging, checking in, Facebook. We teamed up with them. We were the exclusive airline partner this past holiday season to run a promotion where if you checked in at a Southwest Airlines airport, we would give money to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
Well, of course, there was a great response there, and before you knew it, by the time the promotion wrapped, we donated, 750 tickets, which equates to $300,000 worth of merchandise to Make-A-Wish to make these children's dreams come true.
That's terrific. So those are a lot of specific examples of successes in the social media sphere. I'm also interested in where you house your social media program. Some people aren't sure what department it should fall under, how to communicate between departments. What are some of your suggestions for housing a social media program?
Great question. There is a lot of gray area in our organization where social media is concerned, and that it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that the 3 pillars I discussed previously, whether it be corporate communications, marketing, and customer relations, is our primary 3-pronged approach, if you will. We each know what our roles and responsibilities are, but we also know how to work and communicate together to succeed. And then above that is a governing council, if you will, we call it the Emerging Media Council at Southwest Airlines, made up of integrated members throughout the entire company, not necessarily those 3 specific organizations, that help kind of guide the company as a whole in a positive direction and to best utilize the space.
Interesting. And certainly the airline industry is one where companies need to constantly be creative and thinking outside the box to maintain that profit margin, because it is occasionally a volatile industry. So what are some of your suggestions for companies in volatile industries to leverage social media to kind of engage customers in unique ways?
Another great question. I think my primary suggestion would be to develop a strong relationship with your legal counsel. It sounds pretty easy, but I think there are so many organizations out there that are completely disconnected from their legal counsel. We are very lucky to have a counsel that understands the importance of our presence within the social space and also understands the social space itself. So we have worked very closely with those guys hand in hand to formulate social guidelines, if you will. And we empower our employees to have a voice and to join the conversation. And if you do so, as well as associate yourself as a Southwest Airlines employee, then we have firm rules and guidelines that you must abide by.
So even if it just says on your Facebook page that you work for Southwest, you are abiding by those guidelines.
Correct, and you must put a disclaimer on there that says, my thoughts and opinions are my own, not those of Southwest. Very short and somewhat simple it may seem, but it's just a way to make sure everyone is covered, and But once you make that association with Southwest Airlines, you are now a formal social representative of that organization. So we just want to make sure that everyone is up to par and realizes the magnitude of the space, but also takes responsibility for their actions and acts responsibly.
So what are some of those guidelines? I know it's a lot of people don't even have a best practices, guidelines, but you do. And so what are some of them that you can think of offhand?
Well, I think it all comes back to the brand essence of Southwest. And the one thing that we live by is treat others as you would like to be treated. Colleen Barrett, the former president and CEO of Southwest, that is her motto. That is our motto as a company. And I think with your interaction, whether it be with your friends, with our customers, for me, if I use my own Twitter account to reach out to Southwest customers to speak to them about products that I currently work on, I do it in a manner that's appropriate, and that's by the golden rule. It's very, very basic, but I think if you're going to associate yourself as a Southwest employee, whether it be on your professional or personal account or time, it always needs to be in a method of presenting yourself within the golden rule as others.
So what are some of the social media plans for the future at Southwest? We talk about past successes. What are future opportunities you guys are seeing?
That is a great question. We're always wanting to stay ahead. I think that we pride ourselves, and we are extremely flattered to be a hard-hitting entity, specifically within aviation, within the social space. I think that being in a free-thinking corporate culture is one that gives us the freedom to create. I think that as an organization, we empower our employees, once again, to join the conversation. Be creative, do not be afraid, speak up, you have a voice, and giving a voice to your employees, because there's always power in numbers, and having that internal support and being able to push that outward so your customers and external customers can hear and support you and rally behind you is important. And also just seeking out additional strategic partnerships to help magnify your presence in the space and your overall efforts, whether it be additional Fortune 500 companies all the way down to smaller social media startups. I mean, we're all over the board, and I think searching for those those perfect partners, if you will,
Yeah.
can really make some fireworks within the space.
Yeah. Well, Josh, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks for having me.
So much. And
Happy to
for
be
our
here.
viewers out there, you can check out more of our videos at customermanagementiq.com. Once again, I'm your host, Corey Bennett. Until next time, thanks for watching.